I would say intake was the first problem that we kind of noticed. The key with intake after a CAT event would be being available. You need to be able to take those calls and handle them accurately and collect all of the data that you need to move the cases forward.
And what was intake like for us right before our first CAT event?
Well, we were very small at the time, so we didn't have a dedicated intake department, and we were utilizing the intake department of a partner firm that specialized in personal injury and had their own proprietary system. So they were used to, onboarding an individual from a car accident, and we do property claims. A lot of our clients are a husband and wife, a married couple. So they weren't even getting the contract signed by all of the policyholders. So when the checks would come in, we'd have to go back. We're still on some of them going back and getting the second signature on some of those older files. So they just weren't, equipped to handle those property cases. And also their system did not talk very well with our case management system. So we lost a lot of data in the process.
So how did you fix this ultimately?
After some time, we switched intake systems. We also brought intake in-house. Our new intake system communicates seamlessly with our case management system, transfers everything over, has a lot better referral and attribution tracking, and having the team in-house is a lot better for us because we can train them how we want them to onboard the property claims.
But I guess I want to talk about that because you didn't just go buy like a new software. You did. We bought a new shiny software. But a lot of work went into that to actually make, like, let's talk about the work that actually went into setting that up and what was important. It wasn't just buying the best thing on the shelf that would do the job. It was about how it worked.
Yeah, one of our key things was having it communicate seamlessly with our case management system. And the one we use is Lead Docket. And it's, I don't know, is it built by Filevine actually?
No, it was built by another guy and then they bought it or something. It was super weird.
They're very connected though, and a lot of other firms use it as well, including our other partner firm. So we're able to easily transfer cases back and forth. So in the event they get a property claim just through their marketing efforts, they're able to easily transfer it to us with all of the data that we need.
And the biggest thing I noticed Ashley built out were connectors, 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 connectors. Every time a new lead source comes in, like a marketing source, every time another law firm starts sending us cases, now Bobby says, what is your intake system? They tell us, and Ashley had already kind of made it an SOP for us that whoever's in charge of that, our intake director or Bobby or our training people, they would build a connector so we could get all that information without losing any data, right? And data is really big. Any of you that have ever sent us a case, like what is the point in sending it to us if we, at the end of the day, lose the policy number, lose the claim number, don't understand what you did, don't know what the data loss is? All you did is told us to call a client. We're not actually utilizing that data. And that's really frustrating for your client that you trusted to refer to us, right? So we did that. The other problem is then we had intake in-house, which created a whole new problem. Because at the other firm, they had like 80 intake people. They would fire 30 every week and hire 30 new ones. So it wasn't good, but they were very well staffed, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We had 3 people at one point, maybe
Yeah,
2. Yeah.
yeah.
And then someone got sick and intake went to hell, right? Yeah.
So it's very difficult when you have that small of a team to be ready for either a large event to scale up or to prepare for somebody to be out. So we worked on adding offshore agents and cross-training other staff from the operations team, and eventually we will cross-train some case managers as well. But in order to do that, we had to develop a training program that we could easily send out to different people, because what we had before was just, oh, go sit with so-and-so, they'll show you what to do, which that doesn't work when you have to train 5 people at one time.
Yeah, it turns out saying sit with so-and-so is actually not an effective training method. I did not realize. Had no idea. Referral sources is a really big deal, and I think it's salient to some of the people in the room. I'll say the things you aren't comfortable saying. We're really fortunate to get a lot of referrals from people in this room, not in this room, all over the place. We also, I think, try to treat our attorneys really well for the cases that they generate. We don't just expect them to bring cases in and not be compensated for that. But we found a loophole. We had an attorney, I won't say his name, he's not here anymore, who would actually go in and just change that field in our software to say he generated the case, which would cause 2 things to happen. It meant if Robin, for instance, sent the case over, we didn't know Robin sent the case over because he'd also delete that because otherwise we'd know it wasn't from him. So we would not give Robin an update, for instance, because we had no idea that she had a vested interest in the case. And then secondly, when it came to funds, a lawyer could get paid more than they were entitled to pay for, which is not good business practice, as you could imagine. What did you do about that? And I know she did not hit him. What did you do?
Well, at first, our case management system, FileVine, it didn't have a lot of permissioning capabilities, but as time has gone on, they've gotten a lot better and more granular with their permissions, and we're now able to lock fields. So there are certain fields that can only be changed by certain members of admin, and that is one of those fields. It comes over from intake and it's locked unless one of us changes it.